How you doing, guys? Moonchild back here today, and today we haven't got a review. Today I'm going to show you how to rebuild the Tobe. Let's have a look. So yeah, today I'm going to show you how to rebuild the Tobe RDA. I'm doing this because I had a request from Facebook from a guy, Dave, and he said, can you show us a rebuild? So I'm not going to go do anything fancy. I'm going to show you my normal sort of dual coil build. I've got some different gauge wires just to show you some of the tools I use, and yeah, we'll muck about down at the table and I'll show you what I can do. So these are some of the different things I use. Things I would recommend getting for definite is an ohm meter. Safest thing to do. Ohm meter and some safe batteries. That's pretty much your basics. Anything else is just, you know, you can almost make up as you go along. So I'm going to take my trusty pointers and show you what I've got. So we've got at the back here some different gauge wires. We've got some 28 gauge, some 26 gauge, 24 gauge, and some spool of 22 gauge. I aim nowadays around the 24, 22 sort of gauge wires for my low builds. You can do them with lower gauge, but you'll be there rapping all day. So we've got a precision I can't talk today. Some precision screwdriver set and some trusty blues, which I've got from some atomizers. Obviously, you're going to need some tweezers, something to cut your wire with. I've been using some trusty nail clippers. Obviously, you're going to need an atomizer, and obviously, you're going to need some juice. So, without further ado, I'll start showing you what I do. See you in a sec. Also, jump in before I forget. What else are you going to need? You're going to need a wicking material. So I've got some balls of organic cotton, which I got from Amazon a while ago. If I can find the link, I'll put that on. We've got some Japanese cotton. Again, that was from Amazon. If I can get the link, I'll put that in. And if you want to go old school, you got this silica wick. This was 2 or 3 mil silica wick, I think it was. Which I usually use in some sort of like Jenny tanks, but I don't really bake Jennies that much. That's Genesis atomizers. Usually for Genesis atomizers, you'd use stainless steel mesh or stainless steel rope. I've never used the stainless steel rope, and I can't find my stainless steel mesh anymore. I had a nice sheet of that, but that's gone missing. So yeah, so let's get down to some coiling. So I've opted today for the 24 gauge cantful. So, and I'm going to be doing a dual coil build in the Tobe. So let's get the deck. First thing we'll do, we'll take some wire. Now these usually just come like that. They've got like a little slip on them. I usually just unravel one wrap on the spool per coil, and then drop it on the floor. Let's do that closer to the table. I'm sorry if this is a little bit ropey, I've never done it on camera before, so. Right, they've both gone on the floor. I'll grab them and I'll be back in a second. So when you retrieve your wires from the floor, you'll be left with a couple of bits of wire like that. So what you want to do is you want to take, obviously, whichever sort of screws are in there. These are Phillips head screws. So take your Phillips head screwdriver, unscrew them, and then I'll take another screwdriver separate to the one I've unscrewed with, This was a equivalent to a 1/8 drill bit in my screwdriver set. Let's just move the deck out of the way of the other lead. Now the way I do it is, I don't know how well this could come out on camera, but I'll try the best I can. Take your screwdriver in. Well, obviously I'm right-handed, so I hold my screwdriver in my left hand. Take the lead in my right hand. Leave maybe about an inch. Hold it up to just the edge of the screwdriver. Leave about an inch. And I think we're going to aim for about 5. Let's go 5 wraps. So then you take your long lead with your right hand, wrap it underneath. So there's 1 wrap. Keep it as close to the, keep wrapping. Keep it as close as you can. Doesn't matter if you're too far off, because you're going to tidy them up in a minute. So there's 3 wraps. There's 4 wraps. And then there's 5 wraps. Smash the camera. And then just pull it tight. The one that's in your left hand, sort of just steady the coil with your right hand. And I always just then unwrap that one. You've already got your wraps, that's just a, you know what I mean? So you got like a janky looking coil like that. Take it, push it against the edge of the screwdriver, just to sort of finish it off. There you go. Straighten your leads out, and then you end up with something that looks a little bit like that. So I'll do the other one and I'll see you in a second. So that's both my coils wrapped. Well, sort of the best I can, sort of on camera-ish. So what you want to do now is bring back your deck. Saved that one, didn't I? Take one of the coils off. So then you're left with 1 coil, 1 long lead, 1 short lead. So you've got your deck. Okay. You can see the hole through the post. Insert them in. You want to keep one longer than the other because it sort of makes it easier to fit them through. So then you fight your way through it. If you can't get through, trusty long nose pliers usually helps. Keep the screwdriver as steady as possible. And then you can just give them a pull through like that. So then once you've got it in, just tighten down your negative, which is on the outside. Obviously your positive post is the one in the middle, because that will be the one that will be touching your battery or your positive, your 510 connection on your mod. So get it nice and tight. Just take your long lead, just move it out of the way for a second, you don't need it, and then insert your other one in the same way. So there you go, they're sort of both in now. So then you want to find out, there you go. Tighten down your positive connection. Make sure everything's nice and snug. There you go. And then I'm going to take some wire cutters, or like I said, in this case I'm using some nail clippers, just trim off the edges. Sometimes the middle ones, if you can give it a good wiggle, there you go, you can snap them off like that. There you go, nice, and then that's a nice neat sort of finish. Get rid of your excess. Thank you, motorbike. I always then just come back over, just make sure everything's nice and tight. Take your tweezers, just jiggle them around. I mean, you're going to do some more on the mod in a minute, so They don't have to be too neat. You just want to make sure that your coil isn't going to touch anything else. So you don't want your coil touching any of the metal. You don't want it touching the side of the atomizer or one of the posts, because it will ground out and you'll short your battery. So once everything's nice and tight and you're sort of almost happy, just put your screwdrivers back in. Give them like a little, if they're too close, pull them away, and that can neaten them out as well. Or, you know, take your tweezers, just move them away from the side. So I'm going to insert my own meter. Just turn it on. We'll find out what it's reading at. So there you go. We've got a 5 wrap 24 gauge coil, and we are reading at 0.19 ohms. There you go. If you can see that. So 0. We've got something wrong. It's sort of fluctuating. Just make sure everything's nice and tight. If you get that, because you don't want it to short out whilst you're vaping on it. So yeah, it's settled out at 0.1. So then we'll take that out. Take it off. Get a mod, as that's 0.1 coil. We'll put it on a mech mod because it won't fire on the Tesla. That's only safe down to 0.2. So we're going to stick it on the Hades clone. Make sure it's, and then give it a pulse. Make sure everything's heating up from inwards outwards, which it looks like it's doing. One thing you don't want to do is hold your button and at the same time twiddle your coils, because you'll short it out. So what you want to do is you want to check it, let go of the button, take some tweezers, and it's easier to do these when the coils are hot because it moulds itself. That coil is a little bit janky. I think I pulled it in a bit too tight. So if you get your screwdriver, you can give it another pulse. There you go. So once they're glowing evenly, something I saw Grim Green do is then he took some tweezers, or he took, you know, something, and he called it the guitar method. So once they're heating up nicely, take something, just brush it over like you would a guitar strings, and then give it another fire, and it evens everything out lovely. I don't know why it works, I don't know how it works, but it just works. So yeah, that's your basic coil setup, and I'll now show you how to wick it. See you in a second. Today I am going to be using some organic cotton balls. Like I said, I got these from Amazon. They came in a massive bag. I don't know if it's actually going to fit on my screen. There you go. I've had these for forever. They're just simply general organic cotton balls. And like I said, I've had them for ages and they're nowhere near finished. So you just want to unravel this cotton, and you're left with a little sheet like that. You can cut this. I'm just a tearer. I'm just lazy. I don't mind it being a little bit untidy. So I've taken a bit off like that. You can break that in the middle, and there you go. You got two lovely wicks. So then you want to take your cotton, steady it out, just twist up the ends. There you go. And then you just snip off that little tail bit because it makes it easier to pull through your coil there. So then you take this, drop it in, take your tweezers, then start pulling it through. And once you've got it, you can, there you go. So you don't want it too tight, you don't want it loose. So I'm going to turn it around. Do the other one. Start it off, give it a good tug, wee, as she said. Just broke that end. There you go, doesn't matter. There you go. The secret to cotton building is less is more, so I'll trim some of that off anyway. So once you've got it in, like I said, you can trim off the excess, but then you want to take something like one of your screwdrivers, fold it underneath your coil, just like that. So then you're left with that, nice and neat, nice and tidy. That's it. I'm just going to try and trim off some of this excess. There you go, just so it's a little bit neater. Use your thumb to steady it if you need to. There you go. And one thing you don't want to do with cotton builds is dry fire it. You always want to put juice on it and then fire it. So you want to grab your juice wherever you left it. This is one of my own homemade juices. This is a banana custard at 80 VG. So yeah, then you just want to juice them up nice, get them nice and saturated. And one good thing about this cotton is once it's nice and wet, what you can do, if there's anything just poking out, it then turns nice and mouldable. So you can start poking it back in. There you go. And fire it. Look at that. Nice, nice, nice. So just giving it another quick juice. Put your top back on to where you like it. I like it there. Drip tip and vape it. So yeah, let's take it up to the top and I'll show you what it can do. There you go, guys. So that's just a basic build for you. That's generally what I end up doing. A 24, 22 sort of gauge coil, 5 or 6 wraps, and it ends up nice. So let's just show you what it can do on the toe. There you go. As you can see, plenty of vapour out of that. Like I said, it's an 80 VG, so you're going to get some thick clads anyway. So I hope that was helpful to you, to Dave, and to anyone else that actually wants to know how one of my basic builds go. I don't do anything spectacular. I'm not Rip Trippers. You know, I don't do, you know, like these stovetop coils. I've tried some Dragon coils before, and they worked out nice, but they wasn't overly for me. I'm not going to be smashing out any Clapton coils or anything like that. I can show you some twisted coils. I've done some twisted 28 gauge coils before. So if anyone's interested in that, give me a shout and I'll show you how to do them. But that's what I've got for you today, guys. Thanks for watching. Let's take a vape to say goodbye. Let's make sure I've got some juice in here first, because I don't want to cough. And remember, as always, vaping is the way forward. See you again, bye.